Hey everyone, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well. So, I'm coming to you from the couch this evening. Well, it's during the afternoon for me, but I'm all cuddled up. I got my legs extended. I got you over on the side because we're going to do a little intention creation tonight. Okay. So, this is something I'm working on myself. And I thought, again, as always, I might as well bring you with me. And I was inspired to do this. So be honest with yourself, okay? One of the things I'm doing more and more of, and I keep talking with you guys about it, is working on ourselves, the inner work, right? And there's so many ways to do it. You can do, let me grab my shadow book because I'm going to be recording next for the Spirit Circle. For the shadow work, or you could do it the way I'm going to do it tonight. You can just do the 30-day journal challenges that are coming up starting on May 1st. Just a reminder to sign up for the newsletter right there if you want to know about the 30-day challenge that's coming up. But there's just so many ways to do inner work, right? So I was inspired this morning from Coffee with Karen when we used this deck to ask for a message, okay? And this is the card we got. So be honest with yourself. And I really liked the message that it was. So I thought, when I get inspired, even from a card, from one thing somebody says on a YouTube channel, from a comment somebody makes here, I will spend some time. I'll put it in my book. And I then want to spend some time thinking about it. How does it make me feel? What am I learning? What can I learn from that? Anything that inspires me, because I am learning more and more that when I get inspired or something resonates with me, that's my intuition saying, pay attention, basically, right? Now, this message may not have had the same for you. I don't know. I wouldn't expect it to be the same for everybody. Okay. So that's why we're going to just cover a little bit about what the message was here. But I asked the spirit guides, I asked for us collectively what cards we should use to do this tonight. And they recommended the same deck. Okay. Which is great because I kind of wanted to spend more time with Archangel Michael. So this is Archangel Michael, Sword of Light Oracle. Okay, so all the messages in here are from Archangel Michael. Okay, so so what I'm going to do, and you don't have to have a bullet journal. Just you could do a couple squares on a piece of white paper, or if you just have a notebook. Okay, you could do the same sort of thing. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull some cards. And as I get the cards, I'm going to read them and see what parts of those cards say something to me about being honest with myself. Okay. And so this is just like a first step, because then when I capture some things from the cards, I might then be inspired by one thing. Okay. So like maybe we'll end up with, well, I already have some stuff written, and that was right here based on the card this morning. Okay. I'm going to read that to you. But I have 9 more squares. So I'll probably pull 9 more cards and get some ideas for being honest with myself. Okay. Then I might take one of those squares and do another page. Okay. And unpack that a little bit. And I might use oracle decks again. I might not, or I might journal on it. It's just getting a little information. Archangel Michael said this morning, collectively for our community, that was a message that he gave us. And so I want to honor that message was there. Okay. So that's how I'm doing it. So from this card, if you missed Coffee with Karen this morning, what I wrote in my journal here was, first I put Archangel Michael, Sword of Light. Okay. And then I read the booklet, and the parts that stuck out to me were feelings are meant to guide you. Okay. So One of the things about shadow work that people are afraid to do, or inner work, it's basically we got to feel the feels, got to feel the feelings, right? And instead of shoving them down, right? Because there's a lot of times our lives move so fast that sometimes we don't have time to process all of the things that come up, right? And so they get kind of pushed down. So feelings are meant to guide you, is what Archangel Michael reminded us of. Being honest, so we're working on being honest with ourselves. Being honest means being honest means looking clearly at the stories you tell yourself and others. When you do this, when you tell stories and you look honestly at yourself, at what stories you do tell, you can let go of your worries and have faith in the process, knowing source is in control. Okay, I really like that because it's like, if we're being honest and we can clearly see the stories we tell, we can then let that go and we can trust the process, knowing source is in control. Okay. But if we're not honest with ourselves, we can't really do that. We can't I think if we're not honest with ourselves and we have these feelings inside that we're not honest about, we don't want to recognize them, then we sit in worries. We sit in worries. But if we're honest with ourselves and we clear that and just be like, yeah, I'm not perfect. Yeah, not perfect. And I make mistakes and it sucks. And I'm sorry when it happens. But I'm not going to feel shame about it because shame, whatever. Okay. You can go down a whole rabbit hole with that. Okay. So the next part of this was ask Archangel Michael to use his sword of light to sever your connections to negative stories, fears, and the past. So I love that they give you an action step right away. Like you could just do that. You could just say, Archangel Michael, I am asking that you please use your sword of light to sever my connections to negative stories I tell myself and others, fears that I have, and sever any connection from my past. And then I like to add, that's in my highest, best, and good, and that's in the highest, best, and good for all, just to make sure that the intentions are not getting in the way of my karma that I need to get through or anybody else's. Okay. Then the card said, ask Archangel Michael to send signs and little pings of emotions so we know what is real and what's not. So this is about trusting your feelings, trusting your emotions also, because that's your inner guidance, If you have an emotion that tells you something's not right, it could be because of some shadow that you have, but it also could be a protection for you too. Unless if you haven't done the shadow work, then it's kind of hard to know that, isn't it? I think. Okay, so let's go ahead. I will say the prayer so then we can get some other messages. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and all of those and only those of the highest and purest light. And I ask Archangel Michael to please protect this community and this channel so it is also of the highest and purest light as well. Amen. Okay, so Archangel Michael, since this is his deck through Radley Valentine. I'll link it below if you're interested. Whoops, thank you. Did you guys see that? I don't know if you saw that on camera, but I saw one pop. So I want to take one at a time, but I want to get a couple first. What messages do you want what do you want to tell us today about that would help us take a good look at being honest with ourselves? What messages do you have? Or even about shadow work or inner work? Stuff that will create more lightness within ourselves, that we can then let our light shine more. That's really the whole purpose of doing, in my opinion. You guys share what yours is. Doing shadow work, doing inner work, looking at those emotions, being honest about them, is so that we can truly be ourselves. We can stop leaning on our addictions, we all have them. We all have comfort things, Okay, so any others, you guys? So I had two. One really fell out. Maybe that's where they want us to start. Okay, so I didn't get a feel. Okay, I got to reach over here. I'm not going to pause. Okay, get these dowsing rods. All right. Okay, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but there we go. Okay. So, Archangel Michael, are the cards in front of me the ones you want us to start with? Yes. Do you want me to do both? You want me to read both of those? No, just the one on the left? Yes. Do you want me to read the one on the right? No. Okay, so that one I pulled out of the deck, and so this one was have no fear, but he told me to put that one back. Okay, so we may get enough messages for 9 squares out of this one card. There are no rules here. That's the beauty of it. And if you're looking for rules, you'll feel better knowing that there aren't any. Hopefully. I know some people really like structure and like to know, think you're doing something right or wrong, but you're not. Okay. So be honest with yourself. That's the focus. Okay. So here is the message. It is a number 1 card. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Don't settle for less. You are a child of the divine, and you deserve to live your dreams come true, or to have your dreams come true. Don't give up. She's excited. It's really positive. Don't settle for less. Be honest with yourself. Don't settle for less. So when we're talking about being honest with ourselves, how does that resonate with you? How does it resonate with you about don't settle for less? Everybody's going to have a different interpretation. If you want to share it, that'd be amazing, because we can all learn from each other. Okay, let me see. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to tell you what I decide to put in my book. And again, what you put down it very well may be very different than what I put down, and that's okay. All right, so here we go. Opportunities beyond your wildest dreams await you, but only if you allow for them to manifest. The first step in doing so is believing that they are possible. So be honest with yourself. When it comes to that, what I might say is, be honest with yourself. There is a reason you don't believe it's possible. That's what I would say to myself. Okay, that's the message I'm getting here. Okay. What the divine has in store for you is pure joy expressed through the evolution of your soul. It is the embodiment of dreams come true, dreams that you don't even know you have. It's important now to get clarity on what you really want. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Love it. What do you truly desire when you set aside familial pressures? Be honest with yourself. So what do you truly desire when you set aside pressures from your family? Be honest with yourself. Okay, this is good. This is good. What do you truly desire when you set aside cultural expectations? Be honest with yourself. Okay. What do you truly desire when you set aside anything else influencing what you think you should want? Be honest with yourself. You knew it was coming, didn't you? Be honest with yourself. You may benefit from advice from others, but don't let anyone else dictate your choices. Be honest with yourself. Okay? Okay. Where I am, time has no meaning. So Archangel Michael's talking to us now. Okay, my nose just started itching. It could just be it does tend to itch. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't really pay attention if I'm not on recording. So it seems to itch more though when I'm doing this kind of stuff. So where I am, so again, Archangel Michael is the I, time has no meaning. So I can see the past, the present, and the future. You have dreams for yourself, and they may seem big. But in comparison with the scope of what you can and will accomplish, they're actually rather small. I wish I could show you the details of your future. If you could see that, then for the rest of your life, you would never settle for less than the loftiest goals. But don't worry, like a butterfly, you will realize your fullest potential when we're honest with ourselves. Okay? Because if you don't clear some of that stuff that's been in there that we haven't been honest about our whole lives, depending on how old you are, it doesn't matter how old you are, anything you haven't been honest about, because you've been busy or it's too painful or whatever, you can't get to those loftiest goals, right? Because you're going to keep yourself small. You're going to settle for less. You just are, because you've been telling yourself stories that are probably not true at all. Okay. So, like a butterfly, you will realize your fullest potential. You will transform, and there's a life full of magical experiences waiting for you. So, this is like the purpose of being honest with yourself. Okay. So I've got a lot there. There's a lot there. I could probably fill up all 9 squares. Let's see. Well, it would be more fun to pull a couple more cards, I think. All right. So what are you writing down? What are you going to write down? This is what I'm going to write down. Okay. So let's see. I definitely liked those questions about being honest with yourself. So I'm actually going to do that in each square. So the squares now are going to become questions, which then could become another page for my bullet journal. Okay. So I didn't realize we were going to get questions, so that's amazing. So I'm going to write this down. What do you truly desire when you set aside family pressures? Love it. What do you truly desire when you set aside family pressures? Be honest with yourself, okay? What I'm going to write this in the next square. So I just put that in that right here. I just put that right there. So now in this square, I'm going to write, what do you truly desire when you set aside cultural, or you could say societal expectations? So now these give like beautiful opportunities for journaling, right? Right here, we've got 2 now. You could wake up tomorrow morning and do 3 pages of journaling just on that, just stream of consciousness journaling on what do you truly desire when you set aside societal expectations. Okay. And what was the next one? So what do you truly desire? Okay, so I like that one too. So what do you truly desire? So I'm going to go down in the next box. What do you truly desire when you set aside? I love how I love how that he's phrasing that too. And the thing is, within 30 minutes now, we'll have a beautiful way of answering this that wasn't complicated. I just used some oracle cards, right? It's just trusting the process, trusting that you're going to get the right card from your guides. And then you read the book and see what resonates with you. And then that's where you can start. It's really that simple. Okay. It does not have to be complicated. Okay. So what do you truly desire when you set aside anything influencing what you think you should, in parentheses, you should want And I want to say and do. And do. Because, you know, I mean, it's pretty hot environment right now. Societal pressures, right? A lot of people online judging everything. We're all just judging everything and everyone. And so this would be, let's be honest with ourselves. Okay. All right. Well, that's what I got from that one. So I've got three. Let me see if there's anything else. If I wanted to write that anything else down. I think that's you know, like you might want to say, be honest with your, you know, just remind, you could put little reminders on your sheet here. If I'm honest with myself, my loftiest goals, if I can clear out some stuff, clear out some shadows, clear out some stuff that's been bugging me for a long time, that's been unconscious, come to your conscious. You know, that's really the idea of shadow work or inner work. It's things that have been unconscious that you've kind of shoved down that now you're bringing to the conscious so you can deal with them and you can let it, you know, you can look at it with better perspective. Since I started doing the shadow work with that workbook, it's amazing. I think I told the Spirit Circle this because we're doing that workbook in the Spirit Circle. I will actually put the videos together in a little package so people who don't want to be in the Spirit Circle or can't, you know, just don't like memberships or whatever, will have it for sale for a pretty small, you know, small amount. So people who want to go along that little journey with me, you can do that. But I've been having dreams ever since I started doing that workbook just like 3 weeks ago. And we're almost done. We have just this week to do. I've been having dreams of all these different people in my past. In every dream, I have no emotions. It's all matter of fact. And I'm realizing that what my unconscious or my dreaming consciousness, I don't know, is showing me is the truth in those relationships, which were, you know, matter of fact. But what we remember sometimes are certain situations, one-off situation that was maybe horrible, okay? But then we forget that the rest of the time it was pretty normal, you know, or I wouldn't say normal, but it depends on your circumstance, right? But that's what the dreams is so weird. Like I've been having all these dreams where I don't feel self-conscious because I feel like I've always felt self-conscious no matter what. I've always felt self-conscious, or I've always been unsure, or I've always been, you know, as a feeler and an empath, okay? That now I'm having these dreams showing me in the dreams not being conscious, not being sensitive, not being an empath, just living with those people. It's really interesting because now I'm like, oh, I have a totally different perspective now, and I'm clearing all of that. And just by doing 3 weeks of some journal exercises, you know, so I'm excited to keep moving on it because I can feel, you know, and if you can do that, you can do more and more of that, then you're honest with yourself, then you can clear all that stuff, and then the real stuff can manifest because you're sending the right energy out there, you know? So, okay, let's see. Let's do at least one more card. Because, well, I got 6 more squares to do. So let's do at least, well, we'll see what the other one brings. Okay, what other card might inspire us, you guys, to have a conversation and just look at questions about what we should be honest with ourselves about, or what do you want us to look at next? Kind of liking these Archangel Michael cards. These are awesome. I haven't gotten to use it too often. Okay. Oh, okay. That one. Did you see that? I hope you guys can see them when they fly out, but sometimes the angle. All right. Cool. Your vibration is rising. This is a time of great spiritual growth. Yeah, no shit. Sure is, isn't it, you guys? Okay, this is a time of great spiritual growth for you. Yeah, and all of us. You are evolving to occupy a higher energetic frequency. Very cool. So to me, that again, that's why I'm kind of harping on this. It might feel like I'm harping on shadow work or inner work, whatever you're going to do, the 30-day challenges we have coming up, that's free to everybody on the public channel. Again, sign up for the newsletter so that you get all the information about it. The whole idea of doing that, the whole purpose of doing all of this is to get our vibration to rise. Because when you can let go of all the crap, all the war we play in our heads, the judgments we have about everybody else and everything that's going on, the higher your vibration will rise. And then the more magic can come into your life. I mean, it really is as simple as that. I can simplify everything, can't I? Some people here might disagree that it's as simple as that, but you know. All right. Okay, so cool. So I think this is, to me, is like an outcome. This is like, you know what? Your vibration will rise when you're doing this work. You're being honest with yourself. So I love that this card came up as like an encouragement, as an outcome for this. Okay. All right. So let's see, number 43. So that's a 7. So we had a 1 and a 7. So 17, which would be an 8, I guess, if you can look at it that way. For my number people, I'm not patient enough to dive into the number stuff right now, like on the because it doesn't come off the top of my head. So I do love when you guys share like what you know about the numbers or what connections you see with numerology. So, okay, your vibration is rising. Let's see what we can get out of here for being honest with ourselves, okay? It is possible you have noticed that you're feeling a little different these days. Perhaps you're aware that your actions and thoughts have shifted to a new, more spiritual vibe. For sure, for me, I agree with that. Maybe you're finding it easier to have faith. This is because you are currently going through a change in spiritual vibration. I mentioned this a couple days ago in Coffee with Karen, which is, if you're new here, I do that in the mornings. And then I do some, like at noon, I always put something out at noon, Sunday through Thursday, and then at 7 p.m., which is this video. And I have you noticed that, well, it depends on how much work you've been doing on yourself, but the shift from January to April, like, is incredible for me because of, dealing with what's been going on politically and in the world, but how I'm seeing it is so different than what it was in January. So it is possible that Archangel Michael is saying here, this is because you are currently going through a change in spiritual vibration. The frequency you are tuned into in your human experience is shifting because of the work you have been doing to become a stronger, healthier, and more spiritual person. So again, the inner work, right? This can sometimes be a little disorienting, but have no fear. This current vibrational upgrade will be complete soon. Really? Pay attention to the way your body feels, the emotions you are experiencing, and the thoughts running through your mind. Talk out loud to your guardian angels and me, he says, as you start to have new and interesting experiences. Tell us what you'd like to bring into your life, as well as what you'd like to remove, so that we can make those things a part of your new vibrational reality. Awesome. If you feel uncomfortable, take a salt bath to clear your aura or the old energy that is being pushed out of your frequency shift. Be excited about what is to come, and don't worry, these changes are for your highest good. And I'm assuming the highest good of all. Okay, so what are you going to write down from that? I got some real clear stuff for me. So I'd love to hear what you're going to write down. So I am going to write down, and it's going to be in question format again, because that's where I'm heading. I'm going to stick with question format for the other 6 squares. Okay. So I've got 6 more to fill in. So I did 3 questions here. That's just guidance from the card this morning. Okay. Stuff just flew out of my, I keep this in the back of my journal because that's how I make my squares. And I keep my little pendulum pack when I'm working on. That's in the back too, but okay. And sometimes they just fly right out of there. All right, so let's see. I was going to write down, let's see, pay attention to the way your body feels. Let me form, there was something in here. Pay attention to the way your body feels, the emotions you are experiencing, and the thoughts running through your mind. Okay, so be honest with yourself. I am going to write what is your body feeling right now? Be honest with yourself. Okay, so that's the follow-up. So what is your body feeling? And you don't have to say right now. You can just say, what is your body feeling? So that's something that you always pay attention to, maybe. Okay. The emotions you are experiencing. So what emotions am I experiencing? And you could put down throughout my day or something. Throughout my day. Question mark. And guess what? Be honest with yourself. We should, that could be a mantra we have now. Be honest with yourself. Okay. And the thoughts running through your mind. So what thoughts are running through my mind? And repeat after me. Or all together now. Be honest with yourself. Okay. Okay, so now we have three more journaling opportunities of things we can think about to be honest with ourselves, which is, again, the inner work we're doing. All right. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card because that gave me three more questions. Oh, this one's cool. Oh, look at that card. So sweet. Pray from the heart. That's sweet. Okay, so let's ask for one more card. All right, let's do one more card, you guys. Any guidance you can give us for the last three areas that we could be honest with ourselves about? What else would you like us to consider being honest with ourselves about? This is like my most favorite thing to do, I have to say. I just enjoy this process so much, and I enjoy the fact that there are some people like to do it with me, like on video. I just appreciate you being here and doing it with me because I like sharing it and it's fun, and it's just more fun to do it with other people, right? So even though we're not in the same space, maybe someday we'll get together in the same space. All right, they're not dropping any cards. Come on, you guys, you got to give me something. There's got to be another card in there. What? Oh, okay. Well, that's way too many. This one does have dolphins on it, though, so don't give up on love. Oh, somebody needed to hear that. Don't give up on love. So you could write, so a relationship you cherish can be healed. Allow me to clear the way for forgiveness so that love can thrive again. So you could write us if this resonates with you. How could we write this? You could write, what is happening in my relationship or what is happening in this relationship that can be healed or needs to be healed? Question mark, and then be honest with myself. Okay. Be honest with yourself. Okay. So really you could do this with any question you have, with any intention, with anything, and get the questions that way for you. And trust your guides are helping you uncover what exactly they want you to be looking at. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'll tell you, let me ask him right now. That one's interesting. I'll tell you why in a second. I mean, more than interesting. Okay. Do you guys, is that card one you want us to read? Or Archangel Michael, is that the card you want me to read now? Okay. So do you remember in the beginning when I had two cards and then he's like, no, not that one. This was the other one. This was the other one. So he did want us to do this, but third. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, really interesting. All right, have no fear. So this is a 5 card. So we've had a 1, a 7, and a 5. Okay. It's reading a text from my sister. Okay. Have no fear. Fear is a trap of the ego. Allow me to use my sword of light. So Archangel Michael is saying, allow him to use his sword of light to free you from the disquieting feelings holding you back. Oh, that's great. I mean, what a nice reminder for us to ask Archangel Michael, especially with all the stuff going on in the world. And there's so most of it we have no control over. You're right. We're trying to do our little protection activities, but protecting democracy activities. But we don't have a lot of control over making sure the whole thing gets changed and quickly, right? And that we don't want people to be hurt or whatever. But we can ask Archangel Michael to use his sword of light to free us from those disquieting feelings and allowing divine timing, allowing source to do the work it needs to do for the best of everybody, right? For the good of all. So let's just see what do we need to be honest with ourselves about this. Maybe we need to be honest about our, fears that we're having, Okay. Life can be scary. Sometimes you may fear a situation that is before you because people are often terrified of the unknown. Excuse me. This can create an energetic connection to the very things we're afraid of. Yeah. Yes. Many of us are aware of that, aren't we? That's where my sword of light can help. If you ask, I can sever those connections with a wave of my sword. But you got to ask. You got to ask. What's important to remember is that you are never, ever alone. Oh, that's so cute. Not even for a second. How sweet is that? Your guardian angels are with you every moment of every day of your life. Likewise, I am also with you at any moment you wish me to be. All you have to do is ask. Some people think of me as a warrior archangel, but the only war I'm engaged in is the one I'm fighting alongside you. The war against your ego and against the fear and worry it causes in your life. You don't have to be afraid. Take a moment to breathe through your fears. Consider meditation or walks in nature to calm you. Know deep in your heart that you are loved and protected and that your choices are being angelically guided. That's why I love doing this work. I'm letting our guides, because I ask collectively, to give us messages on what we should be honest, be honest with with ourselves. And it's just fun to know that it's not just coming from me, it's coming from our guides, the stuff I wrote down in my journal. Okay. So you don't need to be afraid. Take a moment to breathe, take a walk. Know deep in your heart that you are loved and protected and that your choices are being angelically guided. It's time to leave fear behind and live your fullest, best life. And they're telling us that in the midst of all this chaos. So we need to still live our fullest, best life in the midst of all this chaos, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. What am I going to put down? What are you going to put down for this? All right, so what do we need to be honest? What could I, okay. So what, I'm going to put down what in life is scary for you today. Be honest with yourself. Okay. And I'm going to just put a little reminder myself, explore these triggers, because those have deeper, if whatever you're afraid of or whatever if somebody says something that bugs you, that's a trigger. Has nothing to do with them. It's a trigger inside of you, right? And so if you had the time and the space to explore every single trigger, that'd be lovely because we wouldn't hang on to stuff for so long. So explore the triggers, especially what in life is scaring you today. Explore those triggers. Like, what is it? It's like, go deeper. So like, okay, let's just say a comment for F45 made today scared me. Okay. Then I would say, why did that scare you? And I would answer it. And then I would say, why again, and answer that. And I would say, why again, and answer that. I used to do that with my students all the time. They would tell me one thing and I would say, tell me more. And then, tell me more. Why do you feel that way? Well, why do you feel that way? Then why do you feel that way? It really is amazing. You can get down to kind of like the grassroots basically of the real, you just get down to the core of why something's going on. So, okay, explore these triggers. All right. Let's see. I got 2 more squares. I got to fill them in. So what's important to remember is that you are never, ever alone. How can I turn that into a question? If I do, is that something we want to turn into a question about being honest with ourselves? Okay, so it could be, why do I feel like I'm alone? Be honest with yourself, because they're telling us we're never, ever alone, ever alone. So that could be something to explore. I'm not going to put that down for me because I don't feel that way, but that would be a really good one for people who feel like they're alone. Someone who doesn't feel that they're loved. Okay. Put that down. Why do I feel like I'm not loved? And then be honest with yourself, especially knowing, and I might put in little parentheses, what's important to remember is that you are never, ever alone, that our angels and our angels are there. Our spirit guides are there 100% of the time. And I know that maybe is not quite what you're looking for, but what you want to do is find out, like, why do you feel alone? Be honest with yourself. Okay? Because it's what's inside you that's feeling that has, it has to do with your feelings. So, and it's like, because you can be comfortable being alone, very comfortable. But the question is, why don't you? That's kind of where I'm going with that. Okay. Let's see. You don't have to be afraid. Take a moment to breathe. Know deep in your heart that you are loved and protected. It's time to leave fear behind and live your fullest, very best life. Okay. I'm going to put what, and it's a little similar to the first 3 questions, but I'm still going to put it. What does your fullest and very best life look like to you today? Because it can change. To you today. And guess what? Be honest with yourself. Okay, and see what comes up from that. So what in life is scary for you today? Sometimes you may, I need one more. I'm not leaving until I get one more. Okay. This can create an energetic connection. That's kind of it. I mean, it is like, because people are often terrified of the unknown. Oh, that's a good one. This can create an energetic connection to the very things we're afraid of. Yeah, we don't want to do that. We do it all the time. Okay, so I'm going to write down that one, because people are often terrified. So what of the unknown is making me afraid today? Be honest with myself. Okay. So what of the unknown is making me afraid? Or I'm going to say, and things outside of my control. What outside of my control is making me afraid today? Right? Okay. Okay, well, I hope this is helpful. Thank you for doing it with me. I appreciate it. I'd rather have other people to do this with, like I said. I do have one that I want to do still this month because it was one of the monthly messages that our SGs gave us for the month, and it was the leave it behind intentions. So I still want to do that. So I'm going to come back in a couple of days and we're going to kind of do the same process. But now we've got plenty of stuff to journal on, don't we? If you've, written down some questions for yourself that you can do some more inner work with. So, all right. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.